Beautiful. Thank you so much, beautiful people, that you've tuned in today for our Piece of the Puzzle series with Yes Exclusive Flowers. Today, we are again going over our South African borders to welcome Gerda from Allure Afrique from the Republic of Congo here with us. So thank you so much, Gerda, for coming on and basically sharing also your story. We are very excited to hear also like what is a florist life in Congo and how did you basically make your passion to a profession. So can you maybe explain a little bit of what is Allure Afrique and who is Gerda?
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. Okay, this is my first time recording, so it's a bit of an experience. So
you look beautiful. We hear you all good.
Okay, fantastic. So basically I'm Congolese born, but I grew up in South Africa. So I've spent my whole life in South Africa. I've been in South Africa since I was 2 years old. So South Africa is almost like it's my home more than Congo was. But I always knew that one day I wanted to go back. I didn't know exactly to do what, but I knew that I was gonna come back at some point. So I have a bachelor's degree in media studies and communication. So floristry was not even on my radar. Or the eventing business at all. When I started working in my field of study, and I was planning my wedding in 2014. That's when I kind of got a feel for eventing and for just the eventing side and planning and all that. I enjoyed doing that in South Africa. It was amazing. And then I stopped working and I decided, listen, I'm going to go full force into planning, wedding planning and event planning, and which I did. I stopped working. I didn't have a plan or anything, and I'm kind of like that. I plan after, because if I think too much on something, I stop myself from doing it. So I go full force in and then I learn as I go. So what had happened was I stopped working, I got married, and then I started telling people, listen, I do events. I didn't yet at the time, but I wanted people to keep me in mind. So I said, listen, I do events, and if you wanted an event or if you wanted anyone to do your wedding or a baby shower or anything, we're available to do so. So in the meantime, I took a planning course with a planner in South Africa. And then I had all that down, because you have to get, some form of base, some form of education on what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
At it. So I did that, and I got my first wedding while I was still in South Africa, and it was in Congo, Brazzaville. It was quite a big wedding. It went really well. Very, very stressful, because it was completely different from the way we work in South Africa. Yeah, so we had to import everything. You couldn't find anything there. So it was difficult circumstances, but the wedding was amazing.
When you say, may I ask you a question? And I mean, when you say it was a big wedding, what is a big wedding under your description in Congo?
So,
what is a big wedding?
So it was about, it started out supposed to be 800 people. Okay, so it was supposed to be 800 people, but we planned for a little bit more. So we planned for about 900. But when we arrived, as you'll very quickly discover with African, more Central African countries, when we arrived, it actually turned out to be 1,500 people that we had.
Oh my God!
Which is almost
that's the first heart attack. The first heart attack you get. Oh my God.
I know, exactly. So it was a lot. That's double the size. So although when we pack, decor and all that, and we bought everything, you plan for breakages and all that, but you don't plan for, double the amount of breakages or,
Exactly.
Of decor. And but we had to work around it. So we had to reduce stuff on tables just to make it work and to make it beautiful. And we did. It worked out fine. After that wedding, I felt I was pregnant, and I didn't work for about a year and a half about. But I've always been one to up and go. So when I was sitting at home with my child, and I wanted to do something, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to still be in my field. But it's in South Africa, there's a lot of competition, and you have to really be out there to be successful. And as a new mom, it was hard to be out there as I could have been, as often as I could have been. So I sat at home, and I started thinking. I said, okay, I want to do something that that we don't really see often in South Africa, but that is now a trend abroad, right? So when I started thinking like that, I started researching on the internet and on social media, and I came across flower boxes, and that's how my flower business started. So so I came across flower boxes, and I contacted a good friend of mine, Karen, which you guys know. And I said
she is already there. Can you see? She made a comment. This is one charismatic and driven lady.
Yes, you have already your fan base here in South Africa.
Listen, Karen is amazing. She's really amazing. So I wanted to do the flower box thing. I didn't know, I didn't even know how to condition a flower. I didn't know what flowers existed. I didn't know any of that, but I knew that I wanted to do this. And I just wanted to do flower boxes. That's it. I didn't want to be a full-on floral designer or a florist or anything. I just wanted to do flower boxes. So I found a company that did the box, and I got my boxes made even before I got the flower training. But I had to do that so that it pushed me to actually go through with it. Because I couldn't just
do it now.
So
exactly.
So I got the boxes made, and then I called Karen and I said, listen, Karen, I know this is going to sound completely crazy, but I want to do flower boxes, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about flowers. And I want you to teach me. And I want you to teach me. And I said, I want you to teach me how to make a flower arrangement in this box. So I showed her the box, and I said, all I want to know is how to make a flower arrangement in this box, and I want it to be round. That's what I said. I want a nice dome shape. I want, that's what I want. Just teach me it in this box. That's it. That's all I want to know. So she's like, good, okay, let's do it. She said, okay. We set the date and all that. We bought flowers, and she taught me how to condition, first of all, which is very important, even if you learning to in the box.
Thank you so much that you say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
I think conditioning is the most important thing, but it's looked over so much. But I mean, the life of your flowers depends on how you condition them. If you don't condition your flowers properly, you don't have the chance. Especially being in an African country with so much heat, but we'll come to that. And then so she taught me how to arrange flowers in this box. And while we were working, I kind of there wasn't anything there. But while she was teaching me and while we were creating, I started more and more enjoying what I was doing. And I said, okay, well, I think I like this. I actually like what I'm doing. And I think it was a couple of months before Valentine's Day. So I would practice. I would go to my local florist, and I'd buy flowers, and I would just create. And then I immediately after learning, I started an Instagram page for my company. And I looked for a name, and I knew I wanted to expand into Africa because I'm African. You know, being Congolese and living in South Africa, I wanted something African, you know, something with Africa in it. That's how I came up with the name Allure Afrique. And I started my Instagram page, and I immediately started posting. I mean, the first picture I posted was one of the boxes I learned with Karen. And then I would inbox people on Instagram, like just celebrities and random people, which I had no idea if they would respond or not. But I said, okay, well, I have to try.
Give it a try. Yes.
Exactly. And if they respond, great. But if they don't respond, that's also okay. But at least I tried. So I'd inbox celebrities and I would say, good day, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. And we would like to give you a complimentary flower box. And almost all of them responded. And they, you know, people love free things, and especially when they're beautiful. And South Africa has the culture of flowers, so people love flowers. And they would give me their addresses, their offices, or their homes even, and I would go to my local florist, and I would just choose some colors, and I would, you know, assemble and make a beautiful box, and I would go and I would deliver by myself because I did everything from home. I bought and made and did all my deliveries by myself, just so that I could have that contact with the clients as well, so that, you know, they'd get to know me, who we are, how we work, and so I also get a feel of who they are and what they like and all of that. Just it's very important to have that contact with your client, you know, just so that it becomes more personal and they feel more comfortable with you. And so when they would and so when they would receive the box, without me even asking them, because it's the culture, you know, the social media culture in South Africa is so big, they would take a picture of their box and then they would post it on their social media, and then they would tag us and say, thank you, Allure Afrique, for this beautiful flower box. And then their followers would like, and then their followers would now start following me on social media. And then they wanted, I want a flower box like I saw on this person's page, on that person's page, on that. And that's how we started. And then on Valentine's Day.
An amazing success story. And I mean, it sounds a little bit like from the dishwasher to the millionaire, you know, like in this kind of.
Can millionaire yet? Hopefully get
halfway.
It's not only that, it's like you didn't even think really about flowers. You didn't really grew up with flowers like as something that you wanted to pursue, and you just fell into basically this profession, and then you started loving it while doing it. So that's actually a really nice story.
And also what we very often say, that we would like to encourage people to take what comes along the way. You know, it's one thing, a dream to become a doctor, but when you, for whatever reason, cannot become a doctor, your life is not over, you know.
Absolutely.
What is right and left next to you, what could actually what you could really like to do. And I think that is such an amazing story that should encourage a lot of people.
Yes, specifically also now. I mean, you know, still, I mean, we are in a global crisis, and I think a lot of people are also doubting themselves. Like, am I really doing the right thing? Really what I want to do? Can I support my family with this? And I think there is a lot of those like discussions with yourself. And if one has a story like this, one can actually see that things are possible, you know, even things that maybe have never thought about when you did your media degree, you know, I mean, then it was nothing even on the, like, not in the equation. So that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I also think Africa gives so many possibilities to people. I must really say, even our story, we would have maybe not had the same story in Europe or in America, what we have in Africa. Because Africa is open for so many opportunities for so much. And I really believe that like Africa is the future, because there's so many creative people. There's so much opportunity. People really should take it.
It's a lot of potential out there.
Yeah.
So can you just tell me, because you say like you started now off with those boxes, but initially you did the wedding. What are you doing now? Are you doing now like also weddings, or is it still like just the boxes that you're pursuing? What is it that you do?
So now a couple of years back, I loved it. It was working really well. The boxes were working really well in South Africa, but I felt that there's a lot of florists and floral designers in South Africa. There weren't a lot of people when I started doing what I was doing, but I knew that people started catching on very quickly and also started, following the box trend. So that's not what discouraged me from continuing there, because I had my client base, which was fine, but I felt like I could do more and I could offer this service in Congo, because they didn't have this type of service, I found. So I came for a week just to see, what florists here were doing, the quality of the flowers, the compositions and all that, and the arrangement. And I said to myself, listen, I feel like people can benefit from my service in Congo, and there's a lot more opportunity here to kind of bring Congo to the international level, like South Africa is. I feel like if South Africa can be, it's another African country, but if South Africa can be lifted at an international level, I feel like if us Congolese people with certain skills don't come back and people also don't come and try it here, we won't be able to lift our country to be at that same international level as the others. So I decided to come back. I think when I came, I spent a week and I looked at, pricing and arrangement types and all that. And I said to myself, listen, there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm going to go try it out there. And, if it works, great. If it doesn't, at least I tried, but I'm going to go. So I discussed it with a couple of my loved ones, which were completely shocked because, I've never lived here. They're like, what are you doing? Why? Why are you going to leave your whole comfort zone, your whole support system here and go to a country that you've never lived in, that is, pretty complex, to start a business and just go and just try? And I said, well, I'll have to try. If, how will I know if other people can do it? I think that, I can too. So, well, it was very hard. It was very, very, wow, to say the least. It was very, very tough because everything works completely differently from what it does in South Africa. From, the availability of flowers to, taxes, to the culture of flowers, to how you store your flowers. Everything is completely different. So when I came here, at first, I still was focusing on my flower boxes, but I slowly started experimenting with arrangements as well. And I wanted to do more. I wanted to, because I started enjoying, I actually loved what I was doing. I wanted to expand within that. And it was so hard in the beginning because, first of all, I think Congo doesn't have the same flower culture as South Africa does.
I just wanted to ask, can you maybe explain us a bit about this flower culture in Congo? Maybe nobody knows, or just a little, like a few part of the audience knows.
Yeah. So when I came here, I found that there were maybe 3 florists in the whole country. Well, in the whole city in Kinshasa. I'm based in Kinshasa, the capital. So there were only 3 florists in Kinshasa. And I already found that very strange, that in a country, in a city with over 5 million people, that there's only 3 florists. It was very strange to me, because coming from South Africa, in a shopping center, there's a florist. There are 3 supermarkets, each have florists in them, you know, and to come to a country that's so much bigger, in a city that's a lot more populated than South Africa is, and have 3 florists, I found that a bit strange. I think that's when I thought, okay, maybe that you know, people don't have that culture. They were not exposed to the culture of flowers growing up, because we don't grow any flowers here locally. Well, we grow like maybe some local flowers, like the bird of paradise. The bird of paradise is a popular one that we get here, and some other, small local flowers. But we don't have a variety of flowers. We don't grow roses. We don't grow, but people like them. But they kind of need to be taught about flowers, taught about what the meaning of flowers what the meanings are, you know, why you give flowers, for what events you give flowers. And it's almost like you need to teach people if you want them
to education process.
You absolutely need to educate them so that they know, you know, the value of your product, because it's such a big thing for us. But with time, when I came, I immediately started looking for a shop space, and I opened a shop. I opened a store because here social media is starting to catch up, but it's not at the same level as South Africa. For instance, in South Africa, I was able to run my business solely on social media and get all my clients from social media. But here it wasn't the case, because if people want to know the face behind the product, whereas in South Africa, they buy the product.
Yes.
You know, they don't take the product with the person making the product. But here, people kind of want to associate the person making the product with the product and work like that, kind of.
Which in some kind I really like, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's more the old-fashioned traditional way, you know. Market, for example, for vegetables or fruits or something like this, you see like actually like really, like, I don't know, brings the potatoes or the apples or somewhere to the market. So this is, I think the feeling is still this feeling, like a little bit more like reserved, traditional, that you want to see who is this that's selling me the flowers.
Absolutely. You want to see, and they want to see who it is. They want to see the flowers. They want to make sure that you're legit before they buy from you. I think also maybe because of previous disappointments, perhaps, that they now are kind of like on guard and want to make sure that they are ordering and buying what is being sold to them on social media. Yeah, and so I opened my shop, and it was very tough in the beginning because I didn't know where I was going to get the flowers from, how I was going to ship them, you know, all that was a learning. And I learned as I went. I learned while I was in it. You know, I went through all the trials. I went through, you know, ordering flowers and them not arriving, and ordering flowers and then being stuck at the airport for days, and then receiving rotten flowers, and ordering flowers and no one's buying from you because no one knows you. And then I was giving out free flowers, and I wasn't making any money. And I had a rent to pay, you know, so, which was tough. It was very tough in the beginning. And I was so close so many times to just be like, you know what, I'm packing my bags and I'm going back to South Africa. But I said to myself, listen, you've already started. They just don't know you. Just give them a chance to know your product. And just give them a chance to know your product. And I think here things work more by word of mouth rather than social media. So if you have one order and it's like, oh my gosh, I have an order, you make that order so amazing so that person receiving speaks about it to the next person, or whoever that person is with, says, listen, this is such an amazing bouquet. Where did you get it from? Obviously our brand is slapped on across our box. But, you know, I always followed up with my clients and said, how did you like your box? Did you like your flowers? Did you like your arrangement? So that they feel that we care. We care about their feedback. Yeah, so we care about their feedback, and
I think now more than ever, this customer-company relationship needs to be very, very close, because by the end of the day, what we always say, why we also to see your face also now on our channel is because we do business with people and not with just names, And I think when we actually reflect, like why should our customers be completely different? They are the same, like as we are, how we see things, Sometimes you want to know who is the person behind the end, who is like stuff, or they're just curious, like how did they get there? Like, what are they doing? Where do they come from? Why do they think like this? Because they have a completely different background. They will not know. They will never understand if they just see a brand or just a shop. They want to see who is the person that they're actually dealing with, because this level of trust that you basically create is what makes their buying decision much easier than any also social media or online business. I mean, for our business, we were very, very lucky because we started off 100% online,
Also because we were thrown into the cold water, because this was also never ever our intention to become a flower trader. And same like you, in a certain way, we had to make a plan how to sell flowers without a warehouse having like the next week. So it came from one week to another, like almost overnight. And so we created out of the need actually a concept. That's similar actually what you have done. And as Elfie said, business is done by people and not by companies. And we also say very often, everyone can actually sell a product, but not everyone can actually transport the business via the personality they have, via the service they give. I think this is more important than ever before. People don't really look only for the cheapest solution. Of course, there is people that look for a cheap solution, but what we actually see, there's more people, they look for an affordable solution, a very good quality, and a service. I think these three complements, that is a key for success to your clients.
Definitely. I definitely agree with you.
Tell us a little bit, like when you have your shop right now, what is something like that you can say this is a hit or a runner, like what people really want to buy?
Yeah, I think as I moved now, my focus on design and on wedding. Because that's really my focus now. Not that I'm not stopping my boxes, because I love them and people really enjoy them, but my focus is really on design. So I did my design course with Karen again, and sorry?
I said never change a running system. It's fine.
Absolutely. So I did my design course, and I think the
Gerda? Did we lose you?
Hit.
Gerda? Let me just try to bring him back on. Yeah.
Sorry about
we
that.
lost you for a
second.
Yes. Please carry on.
For a second, yeah. So the hit is that people now know us, know our brand. They can now associate. They know the way we make our arrangements. They can recognize our work because it's different. It's done differently. It's done with care. It's done. I do a lot of my arrangements by myself. it's me and one assistant. If we have a big wedding, I'll bring on maybe 2 external florists that will work together. If it's a big wedding, maybe 300 people or 400 people. But otherwise, I really enjoy, the making the arrangements myself, and just it's my happy place. So so I enjoy doing that. So the hard part now is that to get people to understand that we're actually floral designers and that we do events. We don't want to be stuck with everyone thinking, oh, do you only do boxes? No, we don't only do boxes, and boxes is a thing that we do, but it's not our main thing now. Our main thing is that we are, flower designers, and we want people to be able to trust us as flower designers. And I've been here now, I think 3-4 years this year, and only now people are starting to come to us and say, listen, we want you to do flowers for our wedding. We want
it's actually a very common rule in business that one can say you need to have breath and money enough for 5 years. And then you will see
fruits of what you have
exactly.
And I think also, I think the change obviously is, it's a global trend. I mean, before COVID, a lot of people were traveling, and I think it's not any different from Congo. So people go out, they see different countries, they see different, maybe invited to different parts of the world. So when they back and they may be planning their own wedding, they might want something different than what is usually available. They maybe want something with a little bit more, and you said it before, more international touch. Or every bride that I know so far is looking for inspiration on Pinterest. So like in Congo, there are no flowers as that, and I think no florists can really offer things like that if you do not have also another background and another education and have not learned to do flowers somewhere else to actually be able to deliver such styles, because the style is completely different from what might be the norm so far. Right?
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. I think, as you said, had I not been, brought up somewhere else, I wouldn't know that what is being offered is, just people. How can I put it? I wouldn't know that what is being offered is. I don't know. We could do more. I wouldn't know that we could do more than that.
Yeah.
I think also
you have the advantage of 2 worlds. Actually, you have your advantage of your South African world, and you have the advantage of understanding the people in Congo because it's part of your history, of your own personality.
Absolutely.
And I think what I just want to say is there's nothing wrong with no style, with the one style or the other. I just think it's amazing that you are there and you can offer clients something that they maybe did not find before in the local community as such. Because there will always be traditional styles. Maybe we can call it maybe like that. There's nothing wrong with that. If people like that, they must go for that. But there must be also people like you who offer just something that is out of the box. Let's maybe put it that way. Something different, a different style, a different trend, and maybe also, you are young, so you had your own wedding, maybe also not too long ago. You know what young people want, and it's not always traditional.
Absolutely, and I think coming back, we could just I just knew that we needed to do more. We really needed to do more, because I found that a lot of the times, if people were having big weddings, they would, bring in a florist from abroad, from South Africa or from France or from Dubai or wherever, with any other country. And I don't blame them. I think it's because the local florists or the local eventing community have not created enough buzz in order for clients to trust us with that level of work. Not because we're not capable, but just because they've probably been disappointed before. So they don't trust us now as locals to create that level of work. So I think if you do one wedding and it's amazing, and and you actually put your heart and soul in it, and as you guys know, we always do a bit more than what we're supposed to, always. But that's just what you need to do in order for people to create that trust with the clients and with the local community and people that with your target market, in order for them to, instead of someone from South Africa, they bring you that thing and they say, listen, we trust you enough to be able to execute this wedding. You're a Congolese person, but you on an international level, we know that you're capable. And it's obviously
carry on.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, obviously, we have worked together, and when I got to know you, it was amazing for me to see. I mean, I have worked also another company in Congo, which is also very nice, but also people like here in South Africa, mostly Congo is a bit out of the South African order, let me say like that, so people have a very different opinion about Congo, and my two experiences with the other company as well as with you is totally different. Is actually I was so much surprised how organized you are, how much actually knowledge you put into your orders. Sometimes I have just not here in our country what you already have there, that is really amazing and wonderful to see. And I think that is the way the young generation actually has to go forward, has to go in the industry, has to enter the industry with new ideas, with new flowers, with new concepts. And I would love to, everybody that is listening here, I would love to encourage them to really take your story as an example, as a young African woman that actually takes the world in their own hand.
I think it's very important because working is great, but we kind of need to rely on ourselves at some point. And I think a lot of people want to do things, but feel that obviously they kind of feel stuck. But I think if we don't try, and if we just don't try, we don't know if it will work or not. We don't know what are the realities elsewhere. We don't know unless we actually put a foot in and have a look and have a try and have a feel and see. If you do enjoy it, great. It may be amazing, but if you don't, at least you've tried it, and you're not going to have that what if, in the back of your mind.
And also people like you.
Here, go ahead.
No, carry on. No, the delay is always a little bit, I'm sorry, just carry on.
Okay. I think here in Congo as well, people are kind of in a box. And you kind of need to just slightly, gently push them out of the box to show them that, listen, your idea is not bad. It's great, but it can become amazing if we do this. If we add perhaps this to your arrangement. So instead of doing greens, we can add, instead of doing all roses, because the flower here is roses. Instead of doing roses, there are so many beautiful other flowers out there. Why not bring in a beautiful fluffy hydrangea or some tulips, or
tulips? We are waiting for that day.
Absolutely. And the sad part is for us that we don't have a flower market. We don't have a place where we can just pop in on a weekly basis and get your stock, And I honestly would really love to create that here. That would be a dream for me to just, create a flower market here where people can actually come in and get their flowers on a weekly basis, be able to supply to other florists and just design and do what I love and just be in it, you know, in it every day. That would be, and eventually grow, you know, be a grower, because we have very, very fertile soil here. So I don't know why, you know, no one has thought of growing. I know in other parts of the country, there is small scale growing of roses, I think, in the Kivu province. But you know, I want to grow. You know, why not? I would love if people want to partner up with us. You know, we have the land and they want to invest in growing locally here, so that we can have our own flower market. Obviously, there's certain plants and products that we won't be able to grow here because of the weather. Because it's pretty much warm throughout the year. We only have about 3 months of the dry season where it doesn't rain, and it's slightly chilly, but it's never freezing cold. You know, it's never 5 degrees or 10 degrees or 6 degrees like it is in SA. So we have good weather throughout the year. We have rain for 9 months throughout the year. So the opportunities are really endless. There's so much that we can do. I think people are just afraid because they don't know. And things work very differently here. So you just need to take time to know your way around here, to create a base of people that you work with that are reliable, because reliable people are key. I think they're almost like a diamond in the rough, because to find reliable people, you know, that you can rely on, that you know, okay, when my flowers arrive, this is what happens. Because here in Congo, as Sylvia knows very well, a lot of people leave their weddings planning to very last minute. Okay, so we can have an event, a bride book 2 weeks before and say, listen, I need 40 centerpieces for my wedding on the 30th of May. And we're like, what? What's it? Wait. For early May, you know, in South Africa we plan a year in advance. We plan 6 months, 8 months in advance. You know, so we know how to order, where to order. If we don't have local supply, we know, okay, it's going to come in from this country and that country. But when you have 2 weeks, you know, you have to make it work.
It's stressful. I mean, and it's putting you obviously also in a very stressful situation, because you, as young girl, you also need to get it to get it from some place.
Exactly.
But I just want to say, I'm 100% sure you will grow maybe in a certain way. I mean it in a how can I say this, you will grow flowers. Like, I'm not 100% sure, because this is, I can't say this, but I'm 100% sure you will grow in terms of growing your business, because you are a visionary, and I can see that you will make your dreams come true. And that's why I know that you will grow in flowers or in your business, whatever way. And just about your wholesale idea. I mean, we discussed this before, and I would love to support you in this way, because we have done this in Zambia as well as in Namibia. So we just need one person like you or there that has enough courage, that has enough breath also to stay in the industry and to start something. And I think from there things will grow and people get to know about that. And I think I was surprised. I mean, when I came in the flower industry, we both came from the corporate world. It's completely a different outside of flowers. So we have been thrown into this flower industry. And when I was the first time in Johannesburg at the flower market, and somebody showed me around, and then I just said, but where's the flower market? You know, from my European background, a flower market like Holland, like 1,000 square meter, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of supplier, you know, and to this transport market, for me, it was like, but where's this market? And even now that this market is actually serving almost not only South Africa, but almost the African continent, this is surprising for me. Why not? Like, people have already got the idea to create local flower markets in other countries. You know, that is for me a very big surprise.
And maybe not surrounding South Africa, but specifically Congo. Congo is like really up in the middle, you know, so you have a long way for transportation, and for the quality of the flowers. In any case, it's always an issue.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's always an issue. And I think with taxes and flights and all that, you know, it makes costing really expensive. So it makes you need to get the right suppliers to get you the right pricing, but still very good quality flowers, because I don't like compromising on the quality. You know, prices can be low, but if the quality is not what it's supposed to be, you know, you don't want to sell a par quality flower to your clients. Yeah, you don't. You just, or even if people don't know the difference here much, you know, but there are now more and more people that know the difference. But you don't want.
But that also takes time, Gerda. That is what we have seen here in South Africa. Let's say when we started, you know, like let's just take with roses and with hydrangea, and we offered a different type of roses and different type of hydrangea. People could not compare, and we also needed time to understand why they could not compare, because for us it was totally clear, because we knew this garden rose, we knew this Dutch hydrangeas, you know, we knew why they are more expensive. So we have to understand also from our point of view why people cannot compare, because they have never seen this or they have never experienced that. So that's why we came up with roadshows to show people actually what is the difference, why this rose maybe costs 3 times more than a rose that you have seen until now, or why this hydrangea is of the price of a hydrangea now. And I think it takes time, but it pays off when you really talk to your clients, you explain them, in particular when you have a shop maybe where also the vase life and how long it's lasting is more important than maybe on an event where the flowers have to be super on the dot on the day of the event. But for a shop, actually, is a different thing, because the longer the flowers last, the more happy the client is, and they are amazed and they come back and say, listen, like, this roses have lasted over a week, you know, and that's why they come back, and not to say, oh my God, I bought a bunch of flowers and 3 days later they were dead, you know. I think that is what people need to experience, and that takes time.
Absolutely. And I think you just need to be really patient with your clients, and in any country that you're working in. You just need to be patient with them, and continue to educate them, and continue to educate yourself. I'm very big on trends. I follow them, you know, because that also makes the difference between you and everybody else, because people don't really follow trends here. It will be, if one person does one thing, it's going to be that one thing for the next 10 years or 5 years or whatever it is. And it's just because they don't know, you know, they don't know what to look for, what's out there, what's 2020 looking like, what are the trends coming in 2021 that are already available, you know, what are people doing? And we want to be that. We want to be, okay, we're that step up. We are, you know. So they need to know that if we want quality, a quality product that is on trend, and we want this strange thing, they can come to Allure Afrique and they can say, okay, we can get this strange thing, Pampers everywhere, you know, from Allure Afrique, because we love Pampers right now, you know, and everyone wants Pampers right now because it's amazing, and it's in, and I love it.
They can even get customized colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and I know
amazing what
we customize nice colors. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, it's just a thing of patience and of just looking forward and seeing forward. Don't just see the now. See what can I do next? What can I add as an added value to my business? How can I work smarter? We are going to very soon change the way we're working from our shop. We'll tell everybody a bit down the line once we are ready, but we are changing our style of working so that we can introduce a different way of people ordering and all that, because there's a lot of people that have come from abroad as well that have come back. So people are now there are more people that want flowers. There are more people that are willing to order online, or we have a shop, but we don't have a lot of people that are coming into the shop. We just have a shop as a base for people that want to find us. They can come through and then they know where we are. But a lot of people order on the phone. Most of my clients order on the phone. They order on WhatsApp. They order on Instagram. So we kind of going to slowly change our way of working, just to improve our services and all that for our clients.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
That's actually great. Can I ask you, now, like Congo, like how is the situation in Congo right now for events? And like, in the middle of the pandemic that everyone is, but we have heard already that different countries, like around also South Africa, deal with the event situation in different ways.
Yeah.
So how is it in Congo right now?
I think right now it's pretty tough, as it is all over the world. We had quite a few weddings that were postponed and moved out, obviously because of the uncertainty. I think not that people don't want to get married anymore, so they won't cancel really, but also you need to understand that although people don't want to cancel, people are really strapped right now, financially. So if they have made a big deposit somewhere for their wedding or something, and they feel, okay, well, we don't know when this is going to end, we don't know when we're going to postpone to, but we need our money, because we are strapped right now, because the times are really, really tough. No one is working, people aren't selling, people aren't making money, so it's tough, but people need to live. So it depends on venue to venue and supplier, service provider to service provider. I know some service providers that have a no refund policy. So a lot of I don't have a lot of weddings that have cancelled. I don't have any that have cancelled. Just most of them have postponed, so push them slightly out to towards the end of the year or early next year. But I don't have anyone that has cancelled. But it's tough for us as florists because we obviously don't have any flowers available to us. I know in South Africa now, the flower market has now opened, but there's no flights coming in because the borders are closed. So I can't get flowers. I still can't work. I have a couple of people that have come to see me for wanting to do events end of May or early June. And it's all very delicate. So it's something that you actually need to sit down and think out. Things, the way in which we set up events is going to change. People want to be safe, but they also want to get married. They want to have the event. So it's going to be a process. I think all of us, I actually think we should all just create a group and actually discuss how we can, as an eventing community, how we're going to change our way of working and how we're going to change our way of setting up an event. How are people going to be seated? What precautions are we going to take to make sure that our clients are safe and their guests are safe and we are safe and the people that work for us are safe? It's going to be a process, but I think it can be done. But it's going to take some really some time, and it has to be really well thought out. But it's really hard for us right now because, I would love to just, flowers is my happy place. And I think a lot of people during this very hard time would love just a beautiful bouquet of flowers just to lift them up, just to, but it's hard when it's not available, and it's hard when you...
I can
think
I'm sorry, I can maybe help you in a certain way. Send me maybe after the chat, send me a WhatsApp, and I can actually tell you how we can help you with the flowers. There is certain ways for exporting flowers from South Africa as well as from other countries, so we can plan for you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Sylvia. Always. And I think as you know, with flower design, if you don't continuously practice and do, you know, you kind of standing still. So you have to be practicing and you have to be creating in order to perfect your craft and just to grow and to get more, you know, more design skill and just to kind of get your feel of what your design style is, and what you like and what are your color mixtures. And, you know, you want to be able to take pictures, post on your social media so that people can see this is what it can be available, this is what we can do. But now it's hard because we can't, you know, so we're sitting there and it's like, so, you know,
it's like waiting for Father Christmas to come and we don't know when he's coming through the door.
Exactly. I was very sad on Mother's Day because I had quite a few clients, you know, inboxing us for Mother's Day bouquets and Mother's Day flowers and Mother's Day orders. And I was so sad. So we're not open yet, but as soon as we're open, we'll be able to assist. But, you know, that's one of our biggest, you know, it's big for us, for us flower designers.
Definitely.
So that was very sad. Even as a mom, you know, I was pretty sad that I couldn't get flowers.
But tell me one thing about the events. I'm interested. Is there a regulation right now that you actually cannot do any event, or you can do events just until a certain number of people? Because this is also different in different countries. I mean, here in South Africa, there's no event, nothing for the funerals. There's nothing available.
Yeah, I think here generally as well, there's you can't do events. I think you can do an event in your home, but it cannot be more than 10 people, I think. It is. So you cannot have more than 10 people, but it has to be in your home. You can't go to a venue or anything like that. Yeah, no venues are allowed to operate, no bars, no nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gerda, thank you so much for your time. It was really interesting to hear like a story from Congo. You know, like even we live on the African continent, but sometimes it just feels there is a complete different world. So I thank you so much for opening a little bit the curtain of your world to us and to the people who are listening.
Maybe can you just say something about your website?
Yes. I wanted to say just like let people know, like if people are interested in flowers in Congo, then flowers are available and we see what we can maybe do to help you in that. How can they find you?
Okay, so we are not only Congo, we would love to expand the rest of Africa. So if people that have weddings would like to book with us with Allure Afrique, if you are in Congo Kinshasa, if you are in Congo Brazzaville, if you are in Rwanda, if you are in, you know, Zambia or any other Central African country, or wherever you are, you can book with us. We do travel. You can find us on Instagram. Our Instagram page is called Allure Afrique _Kinshasa, which is KINSHA. Allure Afrique Kinshasa. I think they're also going to find it on Sylvia and Alfie's page.
Yes, they can look on our page and then then they will find your company. Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Gerda. Again, it was really lovely to hear from you. We cross our fingers that things are going to a certain normality very soon, that flights are picking up. I mean, we just have to be patient, I think, like every one of us, and specifically with international exports or imports. I think this will take much longer than just if you have local flowers available. But nonetheless, we will see what we can do for you. And to bring some happiness, I think, to Congo would be our pleasure, because we all know flowers are part of our well-being. And I think this is what we want to promote.
Absolutely.
And I must say, there's no need that you have to be nervous for speaking. I can recommend you to speak in front of the United Nations. I mean, that is amazing. You really did a great job.
Thank you so much
thank you
for
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, stay safe, and we will be in touch. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.